Hi, everybody. This is a recording of the last piece for this week in the Congregational Care and Coronavirus Zoom series, which was talking about Facebook Live and other live stream considerations. So this whole series, the purpose of it, the objective was to quickly get you up and going. So I'm not going to go through all ways of doing live stream, but I did want to show some quick ways to get going on a Facebook Live, and then talk about YouTube and some other things, give you some resources for that, and then also help you with any considerations that you might want to think about if this is your first time going live. So without further ado, I'm going to share my screen, and I can post the link to what I'm, to the sheet that I'm going to be referring to in the chat box. So I will do that after I share. I'm going to share my screen. I'll copy here. And if you can see my chat box. There goes chat. So there is the link. And if you can't, that's fine. This will be shared and posted on the conference website alongside this as an accompanying document. So if we are trying to get going quickly, one of the first things we can look at today is how to go live on Facebook. And I wanted to look at that because it's super easy. As you can see, it's 4 little steps down here, and anybody can do it, okay? So it's create post at the top of your news feed, and then some of those news feeds you'll see that it's just there and you can click it. If not, click on the 3 dots and click live video, then write something about your live video. Give it a title, something interesting to pull people in, or even if it's not unusual, if it's Sunday worship at 11 a.m., and then write something in the video description about your video. And after you do that, click go live at the bottom, and you're good to go. And I'll show you how to do that really quickly. So let me go backwards a little. So here's the Mississippi United Methodist Conference page. And this is not a personal page. You can do it with personal page. This is an organizational page. But as you can see, the live button is right here on the home screen. And you would just, you could do it in a post, and there goes those 3 dots, or you could just click live since you already see it. And once you click that, this is the screen that's going to come up. Go live now or schedule a live video. And we're going to talk about scheduling a live video a little later, but just so you'll know what I'm referencing, know that this is here. So for go live now, so this is shared to a page I manage. Yes, we're good with that. This is the name of the page. You know, you want to title your video. And then write something, you know, descriptive about the service or whatever it is, Bible study that you're recording. And once you do that, you can click on this button. Mine is grayed out because there is no video streaming because I'm at the, I have not cut the camera on at the Surface Pro that I'm at. But this would be not grayed out, and you just click on it and it would go live. So that's pretty much how Facebook Live works. It's not super complicated. So some things to know about Facebook Live. Anybody with a Facebook page can go Facebook Live. You don't need a certain number of likes or follows or anything like that. You also want to remember, if you're going to go live from your, like I'm on a laptop or a desktop, you want to go from the Google Chrome web browser of your computer. That's the best way to go. And then, as we talked about, that scheduling button that was in the left side of the screen underneath Go Live, you have to use a third-party software to schedule a Facebook Live post. So remember, this video is about simplicity and ease, and so if you want to do the scheduling, it's going to be a little bit more than your basic, just I can push a button and live stream my worship service or my online Bible study. So keep that in mind as you consider what it is that you want to do in choosing a live stream option that is easy to operate and cost effective. So here are the pros of a Facebook Live. And one is you have limitless reach and engagement and audience possibilities. So you're putting it out there, and of course, your regular congregants know about it. But now you have an opportunity to reach an even wider, a broader online audience, because Facebook is going to send out a notification to your followers that the live event is going to begin. And also, those followers can share with other people who are friends on their Facebook pages. It also supports mobile and desktop streaming. You could stream live from your phone. You could also do it from your computer or from your tablet. The cons of this is there is no monetization option. So what does that have to do with me and my church? Here's what that has to do. I know you're not an advertiser, but if you're having online worship service and you've come to the point of worship where you want to offer people the opportunity to worship through their giving, you don't have a way to connect directly online giving on that Facebook Live page. You'll have to give them some other options and say, hey, we do Cash App, or you can do a direct draft with ACH, or you can do bill pay or PayPal, so on and so forth. It won't be just this easy kind of one click kind of thing. So what you want to do is make sure you recognize those options in your considerations as to using Facebook or not. Another con, Facebook only streams at 720p, which is not high def resolution. High res, excuse me. It's not high resolution quality, which can be a good thing. And I'll tell you why as we talk about YouTube. Facebook also removes what, and I put in parentheses, what they deem as inappropriate content, because something that their algorithms and automated services may view as a break in policy or guidelines may not actually be, because they're not human and they don't see things as well as humans do. So when you don't have people reviewing content until like a later step of the game, there's some things that Facebook will remove, not knowing that you're not using somebody's original work. Maybe you're looking at a parody or something like that. It'll take it down. A lot of things are issues with music and copyrights, and we'll talk about that later as well. I'll share an experience that I had with Facebook Live when we look at some of our other considerations. So that being said, let's hop over to things to note about YouTube. So you can do either the webcam or you can go mobile with YouTube. The live streaming via webcam is an easy way to go live without the need for an encoder. Remember now, I said that this is the object of this series is to keep things simple so that people can get going right away, like within whatever short time frame they need to get their whole church, whether that's worship, small groups, Bible studies, online and quickly functioning. So anytime you need codes and you're maybe not a whiz at HTML coding and things like that, I would avoid anything that needs to be encoded or embed, even for that matter, if that's not what you're familiar with or you don't have a congregant who is familiar with those things. So I have a link in this document. I'm not going to click on it, but if you click on it when you download your link, it will tell you more about what it is that I'm talking about. So you can also go mobile, and mobile streaming lets you stream from your YouTube app. But here's something to keep in mind. You're not able to live stream mobily unless you have at least 1,000 subscribers, okay? So if you have just created your YouTube page as a faith community, or you as an individual are streaming from yours and you're a member of a church, if you don't have 1,000 people following, this may not be the best option for you, especially if you're a church of like 100 and you don't have a lot of followers. So here's some pros and cons to consider as you look at the option with YouTube. There is continuous streaming for up to 36 hours. So if you all are having this 3-day conference, or rather a 1.5-day conference, I guess, or this all day, all night prayer service, this might be the better option for you, because there is more streaming time, whereas Facebook is only going to let you stream about 4 hours of content before it cuts you off. The second pro is that it streams in 4K. So you have Facebook that does live streaming in 720p. 1080p is high resolution, okay? High resolution image. So 4K is like ultra high res. So it's super, super sharp, which is really great if you're watching a landscape and you get to see all these rich, beautiful colors and the sharpness of the grass and the leaves and the trees. But now, when you are recording a person, if you are up close on their face, that streaming in 4K may not be all that much of a pro to you, because that's going to catch every flaw, every dark spot, every kind of nook and cranny of your face that you may not have wanted to be shown. You may rather have the 720p if there's some tight shots on your face and things like that. Another pro is the dashboard shows viewers in real time. So while YouTube is going on and you're having the live stream, especially if you're on the desktop watching it, you could see the video, but also on this side, you could see the post, the comments of everybody, the viewers, as they're seeing it in real time. So let's switch to the cons. YouTube is going to verify your account before it allows you to live stream, okay? So unlike Facebook, where it's 1, 2, 3, 4, boom, and you're ready to go, YouTube is going to verify your accounts before live streaming. And they just released a video sharing that how things will be changed, how their service options are going to differ in light of the coronavirus pandemic. And one of the big things that we're talking about is we have a lot of staff working from home, and we try our best for those who review our content to be human beings. So if the human beings are at home, some of them can work from home, but some of them, because of the way the system is engineered, they have to physically be at work and into that network to work. So they want to let you know about having longer wait times for help with content and content review and copyright challenges, and anybody who may or may not actually be breaking the policies and guidelines of YouTube. So they've already warned against that. That being said, if you would like to do YouTube, you probably want to make sure that all your account information is verified days before you're actually ready to live stream. And you want to test all these things out before they start, because the response times from YouTube is going to be low as far as customer service. And you may have things that could go wrong technically, so you want to make sure that you check and double check that everything is all right. Next, for a con, YouTube claims access to your content for its advertising. So you'll probably notice as you watch your favorite YouTuber or some random update that you'll be in the middle of watching the video and boom, an ad comes up, and then you have to do skip ad, or you'll watch it. They'll break into your content for its own advertising purposes. So that's a con. Also, using Zoom with Facebook Live or YouTube. Now, this is a question someone asked me about 2 videos back, like how the functionality of that works. So yes, you can stream a Zoom call, a meeting, or webinar live on Facebook to your Facebook timeline. You just have to make sure that you're the admin for that page, which is really great because it allows the folks who are participating in your Zoom call to chime in and to be visibly there, or not just an attendee, but active in the group, and also any kind of viewers who are spectating and watching to be there as well. So there is, if you'll notice, I'll move my mouse around it, a link. There's a bit.ly right there you can go to and learn more information. And they do walk through how you can choose either or. It's really not super hard. The main thing about doing the Zoom through Facebook or YouTube is that you have to have a paid account, especially if you do a webinar instead of a meeting on Zoom. There is a special add-in for webinar. So you have to pay that. I think it's about $40 for monthly, and then like $33 averages out a month if you do like the whole year. So there are these fees associated with that. That'll be down at the bottom. You can watch, click on a link for more information about the details of that in the additional resources section. Also, there's a video here on how to stream a Zoom webinar to Facebook or YouTube. Like I said, it's super easy. The big thing is you have to have a paid account already with Zoom. So here's some honorable mentions. Vimeo Live, formerly known as Livestream. We use Livestream at the Session of Annual Conference just to make sure that ensure that the quality of the video is good and that we're not offline or shut down for broadband width issues. every year that we've done it, it's worked out well. The only time that we were shut down was with our connecting the live stream with the Facebook Live. So which meant that the Facebook went down, but the live stream did not. So I like live stream, which is now called Vimeo Live. The only thing is that one is not free. You do have to pay for that one. Moving on to Instagram live video. Here's some things you need to know about going on the gram. One thing you want to consider, it is free, but going on the gram, whatever you record live is only going to be there for 24 hours. It's like an Insta story. So it's not going to last long. And then Periscope, I don't have a lot of experience with. I haven't used Periscope, but all my colleagues who have, and the churches that I've heard from who have for their services, say it's subpar quality. The audio is terrible. The streaming isn't great. So I have, you can check it out for yourself. I do have a link from Livewire's reviews of pros and cons down there. But everybody I've talked to has said it's just not great quality. So those are some honorable mentions that are also frequently used in the streaming area of worship service and Bible studies. So liabilities and other things to consider with live stream. And I really want to talk to you all about this because these aren't things you think about if you're just meeting in person every Sunday or every Wednesday or whatever day for small groups and Bible study. Rights to privacy. So usually if you take youth on a trip, I know if you take them to the gathering, because we have media there, we ask for parents or guardians to sign media consent forms, knowing that their kid may be on some kind of video and their likeness may be shared with other people. But when you're in worship service and you're live streaming, anybody, your church is just like the physical one. It's an open door. The door is just open even wider because people have access to your church from, it's not even just outside of your state or outside of the country. Anybody who has internet can access and attend your worship service or your Bible study or your small group. So everybody doesn't always want to be seen, and we live in a litigious society. So there are some liabilities you want to think about. And I am not a lawyer and I'm not giving legal advice, but it might be helpful to have this blanket statement, and you can fill in the blank with your church's name. Somewhere posted in the media that you share on live stream. Say you use PowerPoints or something like that. You can have this verbiage come across the screen, maybe at the beginning, middle, and end of worship service, or one or the other. And just fill in the blank of your United Methodist Church reserves the right to use the image and likeness, as well as we share our stories in mission, ministry, word, and worship through our social media, website, digital print communications. Your presence at any of the aforementioned activities connotes a waiver of rights to pursue any legal remedies pertaining to unlawful use of name or likeness. So like I said, I'm not a lawyer. This is not legal advice. But if you have one at your church, I would strongly recommend that you talk with them about this and see what would be the best way forward. At least if you get into some kind of dispute on this, you can say we did take some precautionary steps to warn people and to let people know that we may use any and everything. And if you don't want to be seen, you probably don't want to start your video, or you may not want to log on to that Zoom call or be physically in that area. So let's look at copyright. And I'll say this, it's not just, there are different examples when that happens. Say if somebody were attending your Zoom call and, somebody, they were running from the law and they didn't want to be seen, and any evidence like that. And then in other cases too, I know at the gathering we've had children from the Methodist Children's Homes, and perhaps they were avoiding some dangerous home situations, and we didn't want them seen. They're vulnerable. So there are different kinds and reasons why you want to pay attention to the right to privacy of those who are attending your church, your parishioners. Okay, so copyright. Copyright will get you every time, because when you're singing in your church or you're reading litanies and looking at liturgical things, you're not concerned about copyright. Nobody hears it except the people who are in your church at that moment, right? But everything that you sing, even litanies and things that are in the book of worship, those are all under copyright. They are not things that you originally wrote that you're performing. So it's important with live streaming that you get permission or own licenses from those who hold the rights to this so that you can share it on live stream. And let me give you an example of what I mean by that. Well, let me talk about this first. The United Methodist Publishing House announced recently that they're going to grant permission for churches to live stream and post online selected content from the United Methodist Book of Worship and the ritual resources from the United Methodist Hymnal. So that's going to be the standard Sunday service materials, not the Psalter, but not music. And then funerals, weddings, and morning and evening prayer, for which UMPH owns copyright, are also approved for live streaming. They're going to let you have that until August 30th, okay? So they are granting some leadway on that. And then for hymns and other songs, because, I know you're thinking, well, Amazing Grace has been around forever. Surely there's no copyright on that. Anything that's in that hymn book is subject to copyright. Anything that is popular and out in Christian, contemporary gospel, all types of spiritual music is subject to copyright. So you want to make sure that in using these, they're considering that reproduction. So you need streaming licenses from One License or CCLI. CCLI stands for Church Copyright License. So One License is granting usage. They're letting their permission slide a little through April 15th. I have not heard word from CCLI. So be careful, because these are copyright holders. And one of the biggest challenges we had, and I talked about this with the Facebook Live earlier, I wanted to be I wanted Mississippi to lead the way and be one of the first annual conferences on Facebook Live a few years back. And we did that. The first year it worked fine. The second year they had all these parameters in place. And even though we own a CCLI license and everything that we needed to keep streaming, Facebook would shut us down. And I would be in contact with the admins, because you can't actually call anybody at Facebook. They're responding via messaging. And I would be talking to an email saying, we understand, but our content, we have a license to use this, and I can share that with you. You can talk to me. And so sometimes it would take hours before they would let us come back online. They would shut us down for a while. And it was such a headache to try to keep that going as you're trying to keep all these other elements of media and annual conference going. So my advice to you, even with all these granting of free licenses, and if you want to check them out, that's fine. I would just not sing, not play the music, at least, of songs. Maybe a cappella is the best way until you can try it out. Maybe you try it out on your own before you get to like a live worship service and they shut you down. But in my experience, I just would, I would not. I wouldn't sing, and with music anyways. I think when you're a cappella, Facebook and YouTube won't pick it up as quickly as being someone else's song. So I would just kind of advise against it. But if you want to learn more about it, I have that in the additional resources that I'll scroll through right here. So that's my advice. So what you want to do is go to, let me highlight this for y'all. There's another way for those who are not so much technologically savvy and you want some other options besides just going online. I got this from a colleague who's a communicator in West Virginia, and she said there was this church and they use these low power FM transmitters to communicate and to have worship. So they would put them in the cars, and as you can see in the picture, the cars are in the parking lot, and they'd have a message going, and then they would hear the message from their cars, which I thought was neat. So even if tech is not digital or online tech is not the best way to go, there's some other things that you can use where you don't need the internet to stay connected. So that being said, here is one of those links that I was talking about that spells out streaming a meeting or webinar on Facebook. This is one of the videos to walk you through. It's super easy. The video is 2 minutes and 14 seconds. All these are links on your additional resources page at the bottom. This is Live Wire, and this walks you through some other, I'm going super fast, other services. So that's YouTube Live. We talked about that. Vimeo Live, which was live stream. And then you have Periscope. It's got lots of other options, and it gives you the pros and cons of those. I did want to let you know, if you have missed the other 2 Zoom meetings that were hosted Tuesday and Wednesday, you can access those here on online worship and worship practices. And then you can click on those and download the quick tips here. That's the handout that goes along with each one. You can also download the video here if you don't have the Wi-Fi capacity to share this with other members of your church, where they can just download it without internet. Okay, so this is the page that all those things are loaded at, hosted. Here is the statement from United Methodist Publishing House, where they are temporarily suspending some of their stiffness around their permissions. So that link is also in the additional resources, and you can look at that. So I'm going to pause for 1 second. Okay, so this is the one from the publishing house, and then there's CCLI, and you can find out more about, if you keep scrolling, you kind of got to go. Oh, there it goes. The pricing is here for those who are interested in the pricing. That link is there. Then there's one license pricing. And I tell you what, if you're looking for some things that you don't have to worry about with copyright, as far as litany and worship resources, Discipleship Ministries is a great place to stop. There's worship planning, and I like to go to Worship This Week, which is where this takes you to. Let me just go to discipleship.org. So this is their homepage. And if you click on worship planning and kind of go to one of these options for this week, it will show you what goes alongside the church calendar. As far as, we're in Lent. This is the 5th Sunday in Lent. And then you have planning resources, preaching notes, liturgical resources, hymn suggestions, all these kinds of things, youth lessons. If you need a substitute teacher and they don't have the lesson plan for youth for that Sunday, click here and they have some youth lessons options. And I like, if you're leading worship, this offers you some offertory prayers. And if somebody's running media, there are graphics that you can post. Some are for different dimensions. I see Facebook, Instagram, and then you can use some of these for bulletin covers as well as for PowerPoint. They're at the ratio of PowerPoints. I see 16 by 9s and then 4 by 3s. So you have a lot of opportunity and option and free things available to you that do not have copyright challenges associated with them. So I would advise you to visit those. Another, let me make sure as I go down. Yes, I've hit these. So you can get a lot of tips and tools as well from the Mississippi United Methodist Conference Facebook page. And I highly recommend that you check it regularly, because I can update social media much quicker than I can update the website. So things will, as we're living in this minute by minute, hour by hour world in the advent of the coronavirus pandemic, this is the place to go. So make sure you like and follow this page, and not only like and follow, but make sure that you see everything first. So when you like it, you click and make sure you see this page first. So I hope this was helpful, and I look forward to everything that's going to happen in your media ministries. And I will also make this video available on social media as well as the website. I pray everybody get excited. I know this seems to be a rough time, and people in the world don't have hope, but we have an opportunity to step up and be the church and show them that we may not know the future, but we know a God who created it. And so there's nothing to fear. He's sovereign, and we can use our media ministry to help share that gospel with people throughout the world. So I hope this was helpful. Have a great day. I'm Jasmine Haynes, and I'll see you next time. Bye.